Check.
There he goes.
I make a great joke about
Sorry about that, guys.
EU, and nobody can hear it. And now the moment's over. The moment's over. I'm not making jokes
sometimes
ever
OBS
again.
just like kills my audio settings, and
It does that.
it's annoying. But anyway, can you believe it's the 22nd?
I can't believe it's the 22nd. I'm not going there again.
No.
The moment's over. The moment's over.
It's been done. We already
been
did
done.
it. Guys, thank you
I
so
know
much
the joke.
for being here. The last Yoke Talk of 2020. It has been decided. So just so you guys know, we will not be having Yoke Talk next week, with it being the week in between Christmas and New Year's. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of news anyway. So we figured may as well just take the week off. Enjoy the holiday time, let you guys enjoy it as well, and come back strong in the new year. We're going to be talking a lot more about all of that later, but we've got some great topics coming up for you. We've got Epic Game Store offering Spotify. Huh? What?
It's epic.
It's a
just
thing.
Epic.
Also,
epic.
CD Projekt Red may face class action lawsuit over Cyberpunk 2077. Feels bad. Riot is making an MMO. We're going to see how Pastor Boz feels about that. And what else do we have coming up?
Fall Guys is making they already made a full live action packed Christmas commercial, which I watched, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to also talk about Super Nintendo World. I'm excited about this in a few different ways, and also very sad as well currently right now about it. Fortnite, guys, can run at a certain amount of frames per second now with new console generations coming.
Mystery.
And also, an absolutely wild mod has brought real-time ray tracing to not the PlayStation 5, not the Xbox Series X. So hard to say that. Not even the GameCube. Super Nintendo.
That's right, friends.
Ray tracing.
That's right.
We've made it.
It's fantastic.
We've made it.
It's great.
2020.
It's going to be great. But yes, we're also going to be talking about Christmas and just Christmas in general, traditions, all that stuff. And then we're also going to be discussing some things we want to do with Yoke Talk in the new year, bringing you a little bit more structure to just kind of how we talk about topics and things like that. And also talking about some Yoke Talk core values that we've kind of been thinking about a little bit. So we'll talk about all that and more coming up. So thank you guys for joining us for Yoke Talk. Absolutely fantastic. Alrighty. Epic Game Store now offers Spotify on, I believe it's just on mobile. So Android and iOS.
All right. Tell me what this is about, because I read the article and I don't understand any of this to be complete. Like, what's the reasoning behind it?
So
everything.
This is basically Epic's attempt at gaining more ground to stand on in the whole Epic versus Apple debate, because they are trying to push for them to be allowed to have their own app store on Apple and Google, but specifically Apple is the one they've really been pushing. And so they're trying to like diversify themselves and make that more legitimate. And so by bringing Spotify to their app store, that is a pretty big step towards that, because Spotify ain't no low tier app.
No, it's not. I just brings back Apple.
What?
It just brings back Apple. Like,
what do you mean it brings back Apple?
It brings back the whole debate between Epic and Apple.
Right.
The punches are being thrown, and
yeah,
I get too triggered when we talk about this.
You can't take it anymore, guys.
I can't. My heart can't. It can't take it anymore. I don't know what to do about this, guys. Okay, so Epic is trying to diversify themselves. Well, do they have their own app store now, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I downloaded what was it called, Coaster Tycoon 3 or something like that for free, which was
Okay.
great. I never even played any of them, but it was free. If it's free for me, so I haven't even played it yet, but I've had it on my computer for 5 months. So Epic has their own app store.
Yes.
What is this going to accomplish with Spotify now? Like, what is this going to accomplish with them and the Apple like debate going on?
Like I was saying earlier, I think it just kind of legitimizes them as like a direct competitor with an app store, because Apple doesn't really like allowing other app stores on their
Right.
platform, but Epic's whole thing is like they think that's a monopoly, so they're trying to make themselves a legitimate competitor so that they have more ground to.
But it is a monopoly. It's literally Apple's monopoly.
But should it be?
If they made it, yes, they should be able to write their own rules and not have other people break their.
So if I invented water, something that is completely essential to human life, do I deserve the monopoly on water just because I made it?
You sell it. Poland Spring, monopoly. It's not like Dasani's trying to say, well, Poland Spring is going to. They're not like trying to take each other's business away. Not using the same labels, not using the same purifiers or whatever they use. I don't even know what they use these days, but it's just what Epic needs to do is do their own thing and just leave Apple out of it at this point. You have already lost this debate, right? Epic has already lost. The judge already said this is stupid. You shouldn't have done. Now, we've talked about this before. Did Epic do the wrong thing? No, they did. But they're doing something the wrong way. They should, maybe there should be something else going on with Apple. Maybe they should lessen up on a lot of different things and the whole, like how much money it costs and stuff like that. But Epic just went ahead and breached its contract. Now, if Poland Spring just took Dasani's label and called it Poland Spring /Dasani, there's an issue there. It's probably breach of contract somewhere. Just saying. But who am I to speak?
River asks a good question in the chat. Is the App Store essential? Or is the Apple Store essential? So it depends on how you look at it. I mean, if we're talking like bare bones, is it essential? No. But you can look at it in a different way and be like, our modern world runs on the digital world. Like that's just how it goes. Like your bank app would be offered through the Apple App Store. So like, should you be required to go through Apple's App Store just to get the app for your bank? Like, I don't know.
If it's on an Apple phone, maybe. But like they don't allow you to install apps otherwise unless it's through the App Store. So truth.
And like email, if you wanted to use a specific email app, you got to get that through the App Store. So is it essential? No, but our world runs in the digital. So it's kind of important.
You see what technology has done to us, guys? Everybody's worried about technology, Y2K, all that stuff. We're 20 years ahead of that. Look at what's happened to us.
Look at us now.
Look at us now. It's crazy. It's insane. It's just, we used to be worried about computers shutting down, and we used to worry about like losing files and things like that. And now we're just arguing over.
Somebody should do a how it started, how it's going thing, where the how it started is the original Apple IBM commercial, and then the how it's going is the new Epic Apple commercial.
Yes. That needs to be some sort of meme or video. That would be great.
Oh man, so good.
Well, okay, Epic, upping the ante a little bit. I don't think it's gonna change the judge's opinion and come March 2021 or whenever that's.
I think it's a big deal.
You breached a contract. Anything you do from here on out, it doesn't matter. You breached a contract.
Sure, but
if you breach a contract with anybody, especially a gargantuan,
it's not just about Epic.
Like Apple, they have lawyers.
It's not just about Epic. As much as
it's
I'm
about
sure,
Fortnite,
as much as I'm,
but
well, so I wouldn't even say it's about Fortnite, but
this is where it started.
it is. I mean, I guess so. But as much as Epic is doing this for themselves, it does have huge implications for the industry as a whole. So, like, the conversation is much bigger than just Epic versus Apple now.
True,
the conversation is not should Epic be allowed to have an app store. It should anyone be allowed to have an app store.
True.
And I think the more they can do to legitimize that and present themselves as a competitor will help them
Probably.
in this pursuit.
I don't know. I would hate to be the judge in this situation. I shouldn't be the judge in this situation because you breach a contract, you're done.
You're donezo.
But speaking of class action lawsuits and speaking of complete broken things happening, Cyberpunk 2076, guys. Yes, I called it Cyberpunk 2076. If you guys watched the YokeTalk last week, you understand, or maybe you played Fallout 76. Regardless of that, Cyberpunk 2077 is having a class action lawsuit. Now, let me fill you in on kind of the roller coaster of this launch. First of all, the game has been being produced for over 7 years. Okay, it's been going through its highs, its lows. It's specifically being produced for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Now, with that being said, its release has been very, very interesting. First of all, there was a lot of delays for the release, and finally they released it, I think on the 10th of this month, I believe it was. And the release was met with very interesting reviews. First of all, you could not have a review written until after the release for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And we found out why on December 10th, because the game was completely broken. Now, I watched some clips of people walking up to cars and the car just exploding and the rear bumper just sitting on the ground. I watched a clip of somebody spawn in literally 3 miles over the map, where you could see the entire map and the entire city and a person just falling to their death. I saw the most insane things happening in this game.
You'd think it was a Bethesda game.
It was worse. Like, listen, it was worse than, okay, Bethesda, we all know what happened with Skyrim. Okay, we all know the stories and the bugs. This is worse. This is bad. So anyways, but here's my problem. It was being produced for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Those are the two systems that it's broken on. Now there's a class action lawsuit. You've had people getting their money back. Specifically, Microsoft was able to do so if you bought it on the Sony store. Feels bad, man. But then they took it off the Sony store. And now you have class action lawsuits coming at Cyberpunk 2077. If this gets Game of the Year next year, I'll never watch the Game Awards again. Ever. I'm already upset about The Last of Us 2 winning this year, but this is a problem. Like, this girl has a mustache on the article that we have here. This is not.
I feel like that's something that could actually be in the game, though.
It's handlebars.
Is that a bug,
and her face is
just
cracked.
Actually in the game? I think that's just actually in the game.
If that's in the game, this is one scary. She's got cracks on her face.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's Cyberpunk. The people have like modifications to themselves. That's like the whole point of the game.
Guys, it's scary. But anyways, regardless, there's been a lot of issues with this game. So now they're having a class action lawsuit. Take us through what's going on here.
Where is it?
It's on the article. It's the second one.
It's the second paragraph?
Well, it should be. Oh,
I thought you were talking about the lawsuit specifically.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, just what is going on here? What do you think is going to happen? Let me put it that way.
What do I think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Probably not a lot, to be honest. Just because while the game has had a lot of issues, at the same time, it seems like it's been very successful. I know a lot of people have been enjoying it despite all the issues. Yeah. So I think compared to like something like Assassin's Creed Unity or Fallout 76, or even No Man's Sky, where it was very, very heavily like against the game, like nobody was having fun, like everybody was mad. I think this is a bit of a different scenario because while there is a lot of outcry over these certain issues with like the bugs and the review process, at the same time, there's a lot of praise and a lot of enjoyment that the game is getting from people. So I don't know if it will play out any differently than what has happened in the past. The review process is pretty sketchy. I remember reading, I didn't link it, but I remember reading the other day, seeing an article about how the developers were kind of like pressured with deadlines and stuff a lot of the time. So I think if anything, it might happen over that, because I think that's a bit of a bigger deal.
Sure.
People being overworked and held accountable to deadlines, and even the whole like not that being held accountable to a deadline is bad, but an unreasonable deadline. Even the whole thing where it was like their year bonus was dependent on the scores that the game got. Like that's kind of messed up.
And not only that, but like you knew the scores were going to be bad on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Like even like people, like I saw one score, it was a 4 out of 10. Like that was generous. It's a broken game. You can't even get through it. That deserves a 1. Or if you have a 0 on the scale, give it a 0 because it's a broken game. The fact that people were giving it was a 4 was a generous score, in my opinion. But it does say, and this is a quote, "We are currently analyzing together with the law firm's team the grounds for bringing a class action together with the notification of the possibility of committing a crime under Article 286 of the Penal Code, misrepresentation in order to obtain financial benefits."
No.
This is an issue. Like to be completely honest, they made back all of the money that they needed through pre-order sales from what they put into making this game. That's a lot of money. This game was being made for a long time. But now they're giving a lot of money back, and now you have a lawsuit against you. This is turning into quite the kerfuffle.
Yeah, I think that last statement right there, misrepresentation in order to obtain financial benefits. I think that's definitely what has happened, unfortunately. But like I was saying earlier, you could argue the same thing for like especially like No Man's Sky, like advertised as something completely different than what it was essentially.
When it first came out,
misrepresented. Sure.
Didn't they have? But I think they had to give back money though, if I'm not mistaken. To a lot of people.
Sure, I'm sure they gave refunds, but I don't think there was ever anything like legal that came up about it.
All I remember was in 1 week, No Man's Sky, its percentage of people that bought the game, 99% of the people stopped playing the game. I will never forget that number. And I was one of them.
This feels bad. Apparently it's really good now. It won Best Ongoing Game.
Apparently.
I meant to play it, but I think my 3-month Game Pass thing is gone now. I was going to play it. I just haven't had the time.
I still have it on my PlayStation 4. It's not downloaded or anything, but I can get on there and download it if I wanted to. But I have no want to download that game. So that this is something that obviously the Cyberpunk 2077 issue is going to continue, obviously, with a lot of different people. I thought it was really funny, Sarah, if you mentioned this to me on Saturday, but if you guys didn't know, Cyberpunk 2077 is off the PlayStation Store, and I believe it was a day later.
Oh yeah, it's like a day or two later.
They mentioned on the PlayStation Store that it was the
on Twitter, on the PlayStation Twitter.
Yeah, it was.
They were like, they tweeted like, Cyberpunk is the best-selling game on PlayStation. Like 2 days after they took it off the store, it was like somebody forgot to cancel the scheduled tweet.
It's so bad. But I mean, it was though. So it's crazy. But yeah.
So we'll see what goes on with that. I think the reason we're talking about this for the most part is because these kind of things have implications for the industry as a whole, with things like the review process, and like crunch time for developers and stuff. So I think if it wasn't for those things, we probably wouldn't be talking about Cyberpunk a whole lot, because it's a little sketch. But I think it's worth talking about here. Like I said, because of those bigger implications for the industry as a whole.
The only developer I can trust now is Nintendo.
And even they are a little sketch right now.
Well,
hashtag free melee.
Anyways, but yeah,
I should have put that on the Insta
give
story
us
today for the Smash Bros.
They give us games that are completed though. Like yeah, there's gonna be patches. Yeah, there might be a bug here and there, but they give us completed games. Like when Breath of the Wild came out, it was a completed game. The grass was spawning in a little bit weird and in Korok Forest, but that was okay with me. Like it was just a little bit of a frame rate drop in one area in the entire vastness of that whole game. Like that was
a
okay
different story.
Me. And it was the first big game that came out on a Switch on day one. So I was okay with this. This is a problem. But anyways, moving.
And it wasn't built from the ground up on Switch because it was originally designed for the Wii U.
That's very
now,
true.
Granted, it was probably ran worse on the Wii U, but
I actually heard that the Korok Forest wasn't too bad.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think loading times might have been a little bit better on the Wii U, from what I heard. I don't remember.
Really interesting.
So. I don't remember.
That's interesting.
But anyway, moving on.
Riot
confirms it's making a League of Legends MMO.
What do you feel? Okay, so you don't play League of Legends.
I don't play anything Riot makes.
You played Dota 2.
I haven't played Dota in years, but I used to, and I love it.
This is interesting because you had League of Legends, then you have Teamfight Tactics, which is still very popular to this day. I don't even like League of Legends, but I like Teamfight Tactics. I think it's a fun game. Then they come out with a card game. Now they're just getting in so many different areas. Oh, Valorant, right? Yeah. So Riot's doing a lot of things here now, but Valorant doesn't have a tie to League of Legends, though. If I'm not mistaken.
But it's made by Riot.
Right. So
it might have loose ties, but not like a direct tie.
Yeah, so I'm talking about like the the characters you use are in the card game Teamfight Tactics. I can't remember what the card game.
I think it's Legends of Runeterra.
Yeah, and then now you have an MMO, guys. This is interesting. I don't know. I'm interested. Subscription based, not subscription based. Like I have a lot of questions for what's going to be happening here because normally their games are like free to play. Like League of Legends, download it, free to play. It's the most expensive free to play game you'll play in your life, from what I've heard. But it's still free to play, so I'm interested to see what they are planning on doing here.
Yeah, I just find it fascinating that they basically stuck with just League for so many years, and then they just like had a moment where they were like, "Why don't we like make other stuff?" And now they're just like, "We got to put out a game in every genre that exists." Like, I think it's kind of cool.
They were probably in a meeting and somebody was like, we got to do something else. But we're making so much money. Yeah, but we could be making so much more. Like there had to be a financial guy in there and be like, guys, you guys are game developers and you've been at this. Maybe they saw a decline in League of Legends and they wanted to spark up the popularity again.
League has always been huge. But...
It has. Yeah. Maybe Teamfight Tactics, didn't that come out around the time like Fortnite took over Twitch? Hold on a second. I'm looking this up.
It was probably just coincidence, though. Because they would have had to have been working on it for like a year.
Fortnite released on July. Guys, it hasn't even been out for 3 years. No, it has. Sorry. It's okay. July 25th, 2017. Now, I think it's going to be close. It's going to be close. No, it's not. It's going to be 2018. 2019? Dude, June 26, 2019. My thoughts are wrong.
Anyway, we'll see what comes of that. Fall Guys made a full live-action Christmas ad to promote a free in-game costume. And if you guys have not seen it, you should go watch it because it's pretty great.
Almost made me cry. The Fall Guy was so sad throughout the whole entire thing until the very end of it. But I felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ho-hos and woo, and all the things. I was so sad though with the whole entire commercial.
I just loved the idea of a Fall Guy being real and like Just how hilarious that is.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. If you guys haven't
So
watched it,
good.
definitely go check that one out. Next on the list, guys, apart from Fall Guys, we have a Super Nintendo World theme park. They came out with a video. It was a Nintendo Direct essentially, but it was for Super Nintendo World, which I thought was kind of interesting. Usually their directs are towards the video games, but they did it for this theme park. Unfortunately, the theme park is currently only at Universal Studios in Japan, which is why I'm saddened by this. However, this article gave me some hope because it is going to be eventually in Hollywood and also in Florida, Orlando.
Wow.
So I would love to be there. So what are some things that you thought was cool about this park though, Seraph?
So I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch the video.
I didn't watch the video either. However,
I meant to, but I forgot.
There's so what I thought was really cool is there's a special smart wristband called the Power Up Band. And it's essentially what it allows you to do. It allows you to interact with the park. So if you see like a question mark block, you can hit the question mark block with your band, and it will either give you an item or it will like make a specific noise. There's a POW block, I think it said at one point.
That's
and when
cool.
you use it, something bounces in front of you. And there was actually something under it for you to actually take. So I think there's a lot of different cool things. There's obviously like there's a roller coaster that's themed after Super Mario Kart. There's a lot of other things as well that I thought was really interesting and cool about this. I don't know why this wasn't done sooner, to be completely honest. Like the fact that you get to go into a pipe and come out at Peach's castle. Why was this not done sooner? Like this is what I dreamed of as a child, and now it's becoming a reality. This is cool.
Apparently, it's going to open February 4th.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
We'll see about this. Like,
it was supposed to open before the Olympics, but then everything got thrown out the window.
With COVID-19, February 4th just doesn't seem like the right time to go about this. Like I don't know. This is a big deal, and I feel like they should wait until they know how the vaccine is going to take effect, how the country is doing as a whole, because there's going to be people from all over the world that want to come to this for the opening. Not only to be safe, but also just from a financial standpoint, like I feel like they should probably wait. I feel like it's a big risk.
I don't think it makes a difference financially too much. Because I mean,
I think it does because there's going to be a lot of people scared. Right. But there's going to be a lot of people scared to go. So you're going to open it up, all the overhead, all the power that you're going to use and everything else. You're going to open it up to how many people? You really don't know at that point. I feel
like it's pretty easy to scale back though if it's not working out.
Maybe. It's just, I just think it's a little too early. My personal opinion.
I agree.
But
it looks super cool. I was skipping through the video.
Nintendo has money to throw out the window at this point.
Yeah.
They probably made $1 billion off of Sephiroth already. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Fortnite can now run at 120 frames per second on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. This is what I wanted to see. Now, not specifically Fortnite, but
yeah. All right, so I already know this question. Do you still play Fortnite?
No.
Yeah, neither do I.
But I think this is a good start for the new consoles as a whole in getting a very popular multiplayer game running at 120 frames per second.
Sure. No, that makes sense. And we're starting to see the power of the PlayStation 5 and the Series X really coming out now. There's, I know for the PlayStation 5 for Miles Morales, you can now have 60 frames per second with ray tracing. Like they already made an update to allow this to happen. So we're starting to see more and more things happen. But 120 frames per second for a console this is a good deal. This is a good thing. So obviously, once again, that goes with, do you have the monitor to be able to do this? People don't. People do.
Or TV.
Or TV. Or TV. Yeah, because TVs can do it as well, obviously. But yeah, it's just kind of an interesting thing. I'm excited. I'm excited.
So the performance mode, I believe, the performance mode that enables 120 per second also limits the resolution to 1440p, and reduces some graphical settings like shadows, post-processing, and streaming distances. On the Xbox Series S, the resolution caps at 1080p for 120 frames per second, but it can still do it, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
It also disables volumetric clouds completely on the Series S.
What is that?
Clouds that reflect light, I guess.
Huh. I feel like that's not a big loss, you know?
Yeah.
Not a big loss. Let's be honest here. And in Fortnite, let's be completely honest here. Fortnite is not most people are not playing it for the graphics, right?
Yeah.
They like the cartoony look of it and everything else.
It works.
A lot of people like that. It works for Fortnite. So I think it is a good step in the right direction though, for sure.
Yeah. I hope we see it coming to more games, especially more multiplayer games.
We need it. We're ready for the new generation. Gamers unite. Let's go. It's the time to be a gamer.
All righty. What's that last one we got?
Guys, I don't know how I feel about this. All right, let me walk you through this here. An absolutely wild mod. This is unnatural and insane, but it has brought real-time ray tracing to the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. There are not a lot of games for the Super Nintendo that would be able to utilize this mod in any way, shape, or form. With that being said, Star Fox 2.
Star Fox with real-time ray tracing. How do you lose?
Who put the time into this? Because
Ben Carter.
I can't.
Shout out to Ben Carter. Yeah, so it does require like an extra graphics chip put in to run the ray tracing or whatever somehow.
I watched the video and all it made me think of it's polygons like galore, and it's just it is not beautiful.
It's beautiful.
There's shadows and reflections on some. There's no reflections in any of the games. Like literally, I don't even think Star Fox has reflections. It just has polygon triangles coming at you and you shoot them. Don't get me wrong. Super Nintendo is my second favorite console of all time. I love that console with every part of me. I grew up on that console. Even when the 64 came out, I was playing my Super Nintendo every once in a while. I still play my Super Nintendo. I have a Super Nintendo Classic right back there on my shelf. You can't see it, but it's back there. This is interesting. I can't think of any games that would utilize this to any extent. COVID-19, he had time. He had time.
when I saw this, my first thought was your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they did not stop to think if they should.
I mean, for real though.
Saying it here has a little bit of a different feeling to it than its original use, but
yes. I mean, is it a cool mod for the Super Nintendo? Sure, but was it this is almost like the guy we talked about this weeks ago, the guy that made the game to open a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Like he literally made a game of him
PS5
opening a PlayStation
simulator.
5 because he could not get one himself. So he made a simulator with all the packing, all the wires and everything, a simulator of him opening up a PlayStation 5 because he couldn't get one himself. This is what this makes me think of because the person had too much time on their hands. That's all this is. So,
yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, that about does it for our topics for today. We wanted to leave room to talk about Christmas and some other things. So let's get into Christmas. Guys, it is December 22nd. Can you believe it? Christmas is only a few days away. Boz, does it feel like Christmas?
No, I mean, it's my first time being in Virginia for Christmas time. It's warmer than I anticipated. I mean, not anticipated, warmer than I'm used to. Normally, it's 0 to -20 in Connecticut. It's very, very cold. Usually, they just had like 2 feet of snow a couple days ago. I don't miss the snow. I don't miss the cold. This is going to be a great Christmas. Now, with that being said, I think it's been harder for me to get in Christmas spirit. However, I will say this, just due to life circumstances and things like that, I will say probably the past 5 Christmases or so have not really felt like Christmas. This is going to be my second Christmas away from my family. My first one, I was actually I was on the other side of the world when I was a freshman in college. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna relax, gonna hang out with my wife, maybe watch a Christmas movie or two. We watched Elf this year and trying to get into the Christmas spirit, but I haven't
I
listened to a
saw
lot of
Elf for the
Christmas
first time
music.
this year. I
It's
might have
in,
watched it way back when, but I didn't remember it at all.
I
So
mean, it came out in 2003, so
I was 6.
wow. I was
Yeah.
like, I was like getting my driver's license. But anyways, so
yes, I'm uncultured. I understand. But yeah, I saw Elf
you
for the
can
first
now
time this year.
understand the age difference between the two of us, about 10 years, and the fact that we're best friends is something else. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't feel like Christmas, but I am excited for Christmas time.
Mhm.
Like I said, the last 5 years hasn't really felt like Christmas just due to life scenarios and stuff like that. But I am excited. One thing I really want to do is, and me and my wife haven't been able to due to health situations and whatnot. We've never really been able to create traditions for just two of us. I had tradition after tradition after tradition growing up with me and my family. Me and my For instance, me and my brothers and me and my brother and my sister, we would wake up at about 3 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day. We'd go out. My parents, or Santa would put tinsel all over the tree and
Santa.
throw presents under the tree and stuff like that. And it was really fun. We'd go and we watch Gilligan's Island for like 7 hours because there's always a marathon, or we'd watch A Christmas Story because you got the marathon on TBS, which is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Near and dear to my heart. But we would do those types of things. My parents would make special cookies that they make every single year that are delicious, and people come from all over the country to come get them. Literally, if they know about my parents' cookies, people come from other states to come and get their cookies because they're so good. But I don't have any of that with my wife. Like we have some traditions, but not like big ones that we've like
Doesn't have to be
established.
big.
Excuse me. No, but I do want some established ones. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah. We didn't have a whole lot of Christmas traditions. We would do the thing where you open one present on Christmas Eve. I think we kind of stopped doing
Mm.
that when we got older because we didn't care as much. But we would do that a lot when we were younger. Open one on Christmas Eve. But other than that, we didn't have a whole lot of like traditions.
One thing that I really enjoyed doing, and I did this for a few years, but unfortunately, just financially and stuff like that, I couldn't do it anymore. I used to give my wife a scavenger hunt. So I would put something like in the bathroom, like somewhere I knew she was going to go, and she'd find like a little note card, and we'd give her a hint of where to go in the house, and she would have to go all around the house and find all these different cards. She would be on a scavenger hunt for like a good part of the day. And then eventually, after 6, 7 hints or something like that, she would finally find what the present was.
That's pretty
And
great.
I thought that was pretty fun. I did that every once in a while. One of them, the last one I did, she didn't understand it, so it was a receipt for a game that she wanted because she used to be into the God of War series, and so the game was pre-ordered. It wasn't coming out until March. I remember it was God of War Ascension, I think it was called. She really wanted it, and so she opened up like a game case. I think it was. I don't know what the hint was, like my favorite game of all time or something like that. And she opened up the game case and she pulled out a receipt and she was like, "Okay." I was like, "Can you read the receipt?" Like I had to like walk her through it, and she was like, "Oh."
I
But
remember for my birthday, way back when Brawl was coming out, Super Smash Bros. Brawl got delayed like 2 or 3 times, and so it was
yeah,
originally supposed to come out before my birthday. But then for my birthday, I got a pre-order receipt because the game had gotten delayed, and I don't think I knew yet either because I wasn't like super into the internet yet, and like I didn't know it had been delayed, so I got like a pre-order receipt.
isn't it weird? Like your introduction to the internet was like, and this is everybody's introduction to the internet. They're like, wow, this has a lot of like cool news. Like I used to buy strategy guides.
Imagine. I can't believe they still make those.
They don't.
They do, kind of. Some of them.
I think Brady Games, the biggest strategy guys made, they went under like last year. So
maybe they're all gone now.
They stopped making them. But yeah. So I mean, it is what it is.
Anyway, back to Christmas coming up in a few days. It's gonna be great. Even if you don't think it's gonna be great, make it great. You know,
Yes.
Start something new. Be thankful for what you do have.
Time with your family. That's one thing. When Christmas Day approaches, obviously you might get that video game that you really want. That's cool. Play it, and things like that. But make sure to spend that time with your family. If your family's having dinner, don't waste your time being on the computer and stuff like that. Definitely go hang out with your family, be with them. It's a very special time of year. I really believe that. Now,
even if it's just over video call. Me and my parents, we're going to open presents over video call this year,
That's cool.
That's pretty normal to me because I live on the internet. Might not be normal to some of you, but you know what? You can still enjoy time with family on Christmas.
That's cool. I mean, yeah, my parents are keeping my presents till February because we're going to be going back up to Connecticut. Well, we actually asked them to. Okay. So we're going to be going back up in February and have our own little tiny Christmas with them when I go up for my multiple sclerosis infusion. So that should be pretty cool. As the end of the year approaches, something that's been on my mind this year, and I wrote a devotion about it in our Discord. Shout out to the GodSquadChurch Discord. But I wrote a devotion about this, but as the end of the year approaches, one thing that I love to do, guys, is just kind of look back on the entire year, right? I try to look at the successes of the year, the failures of the year, what things can I change? Obviously, a lot of people, when the new year comes, they're like, I'm going to do this year. And then February comes around and, it kind of falls off the wayside, whether it's like you want to read through your Bible, you want to go to the gym every day, whatever it might be. But one thing that I love to do is just to look back on the successes and failures of the year. However, I will say this, there's a danger in doing this. The reason why I say that is because we can get so caught up in the successes or especially the failures and continually be looking at those. And so the story in the Bible that I always think about when this happens, and maybe some of you know it, maybe some of you don't, but there's a time in the Bible in Genesis where God destroys Sodom and Gomorrah. They're, Lot and his family, they're running away, and his wife looks back and she turns into a pillar of salt. So I always look at the story. She was way too salty. Don't be too salty. That's the yeah. So moral of the story there. But one thing that I always felt like, if we look back way too much and we just focus on the past year over and over and over, we're never going to focus on the present. We're never going to focus on the future. We're not going to be able to move forward. We're going to be stuck there in a pillar of salt and not be able to move forward. And so as the new year approaches, yeah, for sure, definitely take a look back at this past year. 2020 was a rough year for a lot of people. Job situations, family situations, COVID-19 happening. We had a lot of things that happened this past year. It's been a really rough year, and hopefully this game of Jumanji will end soon. I'm hoping.
Somebody's got to win.
Somebody's got to finish that game very soon. So regardless, with all that being said, don't get stuck on 2020. 2021 is a new year. Tomorrow is a new day. I'm not saying that your situation is going to change, but you can make the mindset change of what the year is going to be like for you. And I try to do that every single day. When I wake up in the morning, I can choose how my day is going to be. I might get up on the wrong side of bed. I might drop my coffee on the floor. My kitten might make a mess like she did yesterday morning. That's okay. I can choose to either be joyful about the things that I have in my life, the fact that I have a kitten, the fact that I can have a Snoopy cup that has coffee in it, There's no coffee because I drink it all. But Snoopy's my favorite cartoon character. Hashtag Snoopy's amazing. Anyways, just I love to think about the things in the past, but then don't get stuck on them. Think about the future. Think about how you can change things and make a mindset to just be joyful about the things that are coming up in your life.
Yeah. Something that I always end up talking about for the new year, because people always ask me, "Oh, Seraph, what are your New Year's resolutions or whatever?" Because that's what everybody's always asking each other. And to be honest, I don't really make New Year's resolutions. I don't know. I've just always been under the impression that like I don't need like a new year to make a change in my life, right? It's just always how I've lived. I think it's good. I think it's good to encourage you guys in that as well. Like you don't need a new year to make a change in your life. The reality is you could be like, all right, in the new year, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. I'm going to do all these great things. And then January, something happens, throws you completely off. And you're like, well, all right, guess I'm not doing that this year.
Right.
No. Like you don't have to just full stop on everything. Like every day, every moment is a chance for you to decide you're going to make a change in your life. You don't need a new year to do that for you. You don't need to wait for a new year just to make a big change in your life, you know? So you guys can do that whenever. I want to encourage you guys in that to just make a change in your life whenever you want to. You don't need a new year. Not that it's bad to make New Year's resolutions. It's not bad at all. If you want to do that, that's fine. It's just not really for me. But yeah, wait. Well, let's see what Pastor Boz is doing.
My wife wanted to show you guys something. I know for the podcast listeners, you can't see it, but let me try to describe to you guys the cuteness.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Seraph.
Hey.
Try to get her more in front of the camera.
He's as fuzzy as you are.
So this kitten,
Cool.
I love her so much. Let me describe her. She is the cutest thing that you have ever seen in your entire life. She is fluffy. She has eyes about the size of my thumbnail.
Oh, look, Uncle Seraph is fluffy too.
Uncle Seraph has a hat on his head.
You know, if you come over with that, she's going to be going at it.
She is
This is why I will not come over with
Weird
us.
white.
and her name is Ella.
And the vet said she shouldn't get any fatter, which is not my fault.
Yes.
Not my fault.
So
Don't agree with him, Seraph.
Shouldn't get any fatter as in she shouldn't grow anymore or stop feeding her?
grow wider. So I'll give you guys a little bit of update on our kitten. Some of you know we got a kitten. So we went to the vet. She's super healthy. And so Danielle asked about her weight. And the vet looked at her. She goes, she's a healthy weight, but I would say she doesn't need to put on any more weight. And my wife kind of did that thing where she kind of like looks away a little bit, puts her hand up because she knows she's the one that's feeding her all the time, giving her treats and stuff like that. Super cute though. But yeah, continue with your New Year's resolutions.
Oh, I was pretty much done. I was just explaining why I don't really do New Year's resolutions and encouraging people to make changes in their life whenever they want.
Yeah, and that's true. Like a lot of and here's the thing: and New Year's resolutions are definitely rough because people are like, "Well, I'll wait until the new year." Okay, you're going to eat a ton for Christmas. You're going to eat a ton for Thanksgiving. New Year's going to come around and Super Bowl parties happen. Well, I'm just going to have 18 wings today, and I'll be able to work it off tomorrow. This is a continuing trend. Make the change when you want.
Mm-hmm.
Make it tomorrow. Why do you have to wait until
today? Right now.
Today. Make it right now. This very second. Make the change.
You know, maybe your new resolution is you're gonna brush your teeth more. Go brush your teeth right now. Do it. Amen.
Floss is good.
I started doing that recently. I only brushed in the morning, but I started brushing at night now too.
It's healthy. It's healthy to do it 2 times. It's suggested
Dentists
2 times a day. Recommended 3 times a day after every meal. So take that knowledge with you going into 2021. Better breath for better year. Anyways. So guys, we got one update for you guys. We're going to be having some structure changes coming into the new year as New Year's happen. I mean, why didn't we just do it today, man? No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna be talking about some things. We're gonna be making some structure changes. One of those things is going to be core values. One thing that we definitely want to do is we want to have core values for this specifically, so that
For the
when people come in, whether it's taking a place of myself or Seraph, or even when you guys come in, you know what to expect, right? You know what the core values are, what we're going to be talking about, life stuff. One thing that we decided to do after many weeks was to bring real life topics into the YokeTalk. And we wanted to do that initially, but we weren't doing it. And so we're making some changes this year to make sure that things are going to be a little bit more organized and make things a lot more fun for you guys. I believe it's going to be good. What are some other changes that we're going to be making though this year?
Yeah. So as far as the structure of the podcast goes, we're not going to be changing too much. Just kind of like streamlining and organizing the way we talk about topics. So I think sometimes. And I was talking about this with Boz before the podcast. You guys probably know a lot of times we come on a topic that really doesn't have a whole lot to talk about it. And then we sit on it for like 5-10 minutes and just kind of draw it out because we feel like we need to talk about it. But I don't think that's always the best thing to do if we don't really have anything to talk about. So you guys can maybe notice we tried to do that a little bit today, where we didn't dwindle so long on some of the smaller topics. So what we want to do starting in the new year is we kind of want to have like maybe 1 to 3 major topics that are going to be our big discussions for the day, that we're going to talk about different aspects of it and things like that and go back and forth. And then other topics which are smaller and more just kind of like honorable mentions. You know, we're trying to come up with like a cool name for them. We might call them the Yoke Bites, you know, and now it's time for the Yoke Bites.
Bits.
The Yoke bits,
and then people are just going to start pouring in the bits.
Maybe. But yeah, so basically the idea that we're going to have our main topics of discussion and then more just kind of like these smaller topics that we're just going to mention, talk about for like a minute, maybe 2, and then move on from. And that should give us more time to consistently talk about life topics and other things. We definitely want to bring back a lot more life topics. So I think for the new year, like Boz mentioned, we're going to be talking about some of those core values that we want to kind of instill into the YokeTalk. And these are things that I think have kind of always been here, but just kind of putting a name to them and really talking about them and just what makes the YokeTalk. That way, when people come in, they know exactly what to expect. And when we have a guest on, we can be like, hey, this is what we do. And it's very easy for them to follow. And so no matter who's on the YokeTalk or where you're listening, it will feel the same. It will feel consistent. So things like that. So we'll be talking about the core value stuff in January. I think might take us a couple weeks to get through them and decide on all of them. But then February, we've been planning this for a while. February, we're gonna our life topics are gonna be all about relationship stuff for Valentine's Day. So looking forward to that. It's gonna be great. And then maybe we'll just try to do that where like every month we have like a life topic theme. That might work.
That would be cool. That would work. That would work.
See?
Thank you for the bits, by the way. But yeah, that would be interesting. It might be difficult, but I think we can make it work.
Might be cool,
make it work.
We'll see.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do.
And then trying to get ahead on some of it.
And then finally, guys, something that we've been trying to play with really since we've started the YokeTalk, we've made one time change. We are thinking about possibly another time change. Now, this could possibly change the day as well. The time is going to be similar, but it's not going to be at noon necessarily. We've been thinking about when gaming news actually happens during the week. And what I hate, and this happens every single week, is we do the YokeTalk. And then later in the day, tonight, I go on to my phone or something like that, and I recognize something big just happened, and we can't talk about it for another week. So, for instance, I'll give you guys an example. Last week on Tuesday, there was a really cool reveal that Nintendo had for Sephiroth that came out, but it's a week later. So, is there really any point in talking about and mentioning Sephiroth coming out and the way that he came out as well, which I thought was really cool? Technically, he's releasing today.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that at all. So we didn't know yet.
Yeah. So technically today he's releasing. However, I unlocked him on Thursday. Like, unlocked. This has never happened in Smash history. It was a really cool thing,
Not for
but we
DLC.
had already
but-
it's a week later, right? So yeah, I thought it was a really cool thing that they did, but once we didn't have that topic because it's old news,
Mhm.
and we don't want to do old news. We want to do new things. So, for instance, if we had something on later in the week, we may have been able to talk about Sephiroth and the reveal and those types of things. So we want to make things fresh, new. Maybe we'll change today. We're
Yeah.
playing around with some things, playing around with some ideas of what we're exactly going to do, and I think it will be good. I think it will be good.
Yeah, I think more so than just wanting to be able to talk about things, because I don't think we ever like don't talk about something because it was like a week ago or whatever. It just really stinks to have to wait a week to talk about it, because like Boz was saying, lots of times stuff will happen and stuff will get announced like Tuesday afternoon or like Wednesday, and then like
Right.
we don't talk about it until the next Tuesday because that's when YokeTalk is. And we run into that time and time again. It's kind of frustrating. So we just want to be able to like bring more timely content to you guys, instead of like always talking about stuff that's like a week old. You guys already know about it, unless this is just where you get your news. But
I mean, usually we give you guys gaming news, but Romans wants egg recipes.
I don't think that's in our core values.
Could be.
But yeah,
Sunny side up.
We just want to bring
so-
more timely discussion to you guys rather than having it be a few days or a week old. So we're looking at Friday, maybe, no promises yet.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm leaning towards a good old Friday.
I think I am
Friday
too.
afternoon.
End of the week with a YokeTalk.
Yeah.
I think it's looking pretty good.
So
we'll
I'm
see.
thinking about it, but we'll have to see. So anyways, so to end it off, guys, we always tell you guys a couple life stories about us, what's going on. I'll share with you guys kind of what's going on in my life currently right now. So I streamed I preached. Actually did stream
You did
2 days ago.
Mhm.
Hey. So anyways, but I preached this past week. So many of you know the life updates that are going on, but I want to give you a life update on my little kitten, Ella. So life update, we were going to a vet and they had stated that she had a heart murmur, and heart murmurs are obviously for anyone can be a serious or not very serious thing. And we continued to go to this vet and they kept saying she had a heart murmur, but they weren't doing anything. They were just kind of like, we can refer you to a cardiologist and that's all we can do. With that being said, something wasn't sitting right inside of me. I was like, I want to go to another vet. And my wife said the same thing. So we went to a different vet to get a second opinion. This vet, first of all, she didn't hear a heart murmur. So they're like, it could have been an innocent heart murmur is what it's called. It can come on and off due to the rib cage and due to the way the heart is beating. I get that. But I've been to this vet 3 times and all 3 times they said it was a heart murmur. Nobody else ever heard it. This person's not hearing it. And she said, oh, there's a test we can do that can be overnight. Why did I not hear about this test the 3 times that my kitten had a heart murmur? So needless to say, we will not be going to that other vet, but she is perfectly fine and healthy. And my wife needs to stop feeding her treats because the vet said she's a healthy weight, but she doesn't need to be any fatter at this point. She's got a bit of a tummy, but she is adorable, still as adorable as ever. Games that I've been playing, guys. Offline, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14. 5.4 came out a couple weeks ago, the patch, and I am loving it. So I've been playing that when I'm able to get on. And when I'm streaming, I've been playing currently Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. And just a couple days, I unlocked Hetsu. So I've been killing hundreds of enemies with maracas and calling in my little Korok friends. And every time you call them in, you hear like hundreds of yahahas. And it's just the most amazing thing in the entire world. So I've been calling in all my Korok friends and also killing things with maracas, and it's been amazing. it's a better game than I thought it was going to be. And
That's
it's
great.
long.
I can't wait to
There's
play it.
so much content, and I can't wait for like the DLCs, new characters. It's
awesome.
it's just so good.
It'd be cool if they did like a whole set of like DLC with like Breath of the Wild 2 stuff.
That would be interesting.
That'd be cool.
And also, I don't know what the ending of the game is yet, so no spoilers, but somebody told me that the end of the game is not what you would think. Like, I thought the end of the game would be like Link getting absolutely annihilated by a bunch of ancients, and then the game would just end 100 years later. Breath of the Wild happens. Somebody was like, no, like it's like it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh,
Cool.
how could you change the ending of this game? So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for 2021. 35 years. Legend of Zelda anniversary, guys. I'm excited for 2021. I want some things, and I know that Nintendo's not going to do any of them, but I want something. I'm going to make my voice heard. I'm making my voice heard this year. Zelda is near and dear
like the
to my
Smash
heart.
community right now.
Listen, they need to do some things that I want some things happening, but I don't think they're going to happen, unfortunately. So we'll see. But yes.
Yeah. I've just been mainly playing Warframe off stream. I love it. There's an event going on right now. It's great. I love it. There's like these mechs that you have now. So you can get in a mech and you can just destroy things. It's great. It's wonderful. I love Warframe. It's always great.
Okay.
I don't think I've really been playing anything else. I've never talked about cooking on the YokeTalk, have I? Guys, I like cooking. I enjoy it more and more the more that I do it. I made stir fry the other week for the first time in a cast iron skillet, and it was bomb. Like,
Nice.
I stream sometimes. I have not streamed. The last thing I streamed was the Game Awards, and before that, it was like a month prior to that. I want to be more consistent. Maybe soon. We'll see. But it has not been in the cards recently.
Yeah.
It's yeah. But yeah, I love cooking.
Cooking is fun. I enjoy cooking as well. My wife made an amazing turkey for Thanksgiving. Just nothing else to say about it. It was an amazing turkey. It's great.
Yes, I heard great praise for the turkey. I didn't have it, but I heard.
No, you didn't, because I ate too much of it.
That's okay.
It was 9 pounds, and I ate about 8 of them.
I mean,
in like 2 days.
Makes sense.
It was delicious. Anyways, I digress. Good times.
I think that about does it.
I should be streaming soon, guys. I know I have a streaming schedule.
Schedule.
I have not been on that. I actually haven't streamed once on my streaming schedule yet. So, but I should be streaming pretty soon. Things are going along. Things are going along for us and personal things, but we are working through them, working in a good direction. So hopefully soon, guys, I will be able to have a more consistent stream schedule come 2021. That's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see.
New Year's resolution. More consistent stream schedule.
We'll see. I should start it today.
That's right.
A new
consistent
day.
Right now.
I mean, technically, I'm supposed to stream tomorrow, but I'm going to just stream right now.
Right now.
During my work hours.
During the YokeTalk. Don't even wait for us to go offline. Start right now.
I feel bad if I did. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. You yokers are absolutely amazing for coming in. Like I said, it's gonna be a good year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for it.
Reminder that we will not have YokeTalk next week. We decided this was just going to be the last one for the year. There's probably not going to be a whole lot to talk about next week anyway, as far as gaming news goes, with it being the week in between Christmas and New Year's. So figured we'd just take the week off, come back strong in the new year. It's also episode 25, so a nice even multiple of 5 to leave off on.
Nice. Yeah. But we will be back for January 5th.
Is that it?
So Mark and I, Huh?
Is that the
January
yeah,
5th?
You're right. That is
Yeah,
it.
we'll be back then. And hopefully by that day, we will have the new time change when that's going to
Oh
start.
yeah, if we change it to Friday, then it won't be the 5th. But
Well, I think we should probably do one last Tuesday. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, you guys are all amazing, all you yokers out there. Thank you so much for coming in. It's been a great year, and I hate this joke, but I'll see you next year.
Oh my god.
I hate that joke, dude. It's the worst. It's actually the worst.
Oh goodness. The one that was funny last year was see you in the new decade, and then everybody was all up in arms about whether it was actually a new decade or not.
Listen, when the millennium came around, actually nobody said see you in a new millennium. Everybody's just Y2K. It's all it was. You had the Y2Kers and you had the people that really didn't care, like my dad. My dad was sitting there, he was eating French fries. He's like, watch. Everything was fine. Everything was fine. Nothing shut down.
That's gonna do it for us. Thank you guys so much for joining us. All you yokers are the best. And we want to thank you guys so much for being a part of this and listening and all that good stuff. There'd be no Yoke Talk without the yokers.
That's right.
I mean, there would, but it wouldn't. There'd be no point. There'd be no
point at all. None.
It would just be me and Boz talking like we always do off stream.
This is what we do.
Now we just made a podcast. It's great.
We this is what we do on our. We just brought you guys in for our topics.
Isn't it wonderful? We're so glad to have you yokers as a part of it all, and we will see you guys in the new year.
Oh my gosh! Bye guys.
Later!